episode of the Over a Third podcast, the GVL Netball Show. It is Michael Van Dorsser, and this week, joining me as co-host is the C grade best and fairest from Tully Bree Boyle. I had to throw it in nice and early, Bree, get it out the way. How are you today, Bree?
Oh, oh, can we not? Can we not?
Oh,
Like,
okay, sorry.
really? I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thanks so much for all your help on Sunday. It was great to have you as part of the commentary crew. The reason you've jumped in, Georgia Gattuso has decided that, yeah, she just wasn't well enough, and we thought, oh well, you can go keep on commiserating, unfortunately, from the weekend. But so we're going to keep moving on with the show. It's the last one for the year, and we just wanted to do a bit of a recap and see how things went. So uh, we've we welcome in the 2019 Sandra Cox Medallist and Premiership player in 2024, Kellie Hill from Euroa Football Netball Club. Kellie, a very good evening to you.
Hi, Michael. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. It's a pleasure to be on the podcast tonight.
It's a great pleasure to have you. I'm glad we've been able to take you away from the celebrations. I understand they've gone big and, well, probably bigger, if that's even a word, to be perfectly honest.
Yes, I'm very happy you dragged me away tonight too, because it's just the reprieve I needed, to be perfectly honest.
Well,
I laughed and said to the girls, I might be able to keep up with them on the netball court just, but I certainly can't in the celebrations. I'll give you the hot tip.
I'll be honest with you. I did try Ellie Warnock first, and I'm
I
still
bet you
waiting for a
did.
message back.
I wouldn't go
I
there.
love how
I
you
wouldn't
say.
go
I love
there.
how you sit there and say that you could.
Sorry.
Go on, Bree.
I was going to say, Kelly, I love how you sit there and say that you reckon you can keep up with the girls. Just we certainly watched you, and you are definitely able to keep up, if not excel.
Oh, well, thank you, Bree. That's very generous. But as I said, I definitely can't off the court. And yes, I wouldn't be trying to contact Ellie for the rest of the week, Michael. Maybe next week, maybe next year, you might get some sense out of her, but probably not beforehand.
Hey, it's Euroa's. We were just talking off air. It's Euroa's first premiership since 1983 in A grade. Obviously, they've got every right to celebrate and celebrate hard. What's it
Absolutely.
been like around the town this week? Well, in the last
Yeah,
couple of days.
yeah, it's been unbelievable. In fact, the whole week leading up to the grand final, it's something pretty special and unique in a small town. When you get to play in a grand final, you feel like the whole town is so behind you. We had videos come out of the childcare centre with all the kids excited about the game, to the other extreme, videos coming out of Granite Hill Aged Care Facility. They're all insanely excited. Every shop fund had balloons and pictures. Some of them even had big screens and videos and player profiles and the whole works. It's huge for a little town when they get some teams up in the grand final. And the lead up week was so exciting. The day itself it's almost a bit of a blur, to be honest. We've gone back and watched the footage and tried to relive it a bit, and certainly it's been a blur ever since.
The question then needs to be asked: did the umpires get the best on courts right then?
I think they did. I think the players who got best on courts, absolutely across the day, so well deserving. In the B grade, Sarah Turns has just been phenomenal all year. The volume that she carries down the attack end, the accuracy with which she shoots at, she's just been unstoppable. So she absolutely deserved it in the B. And the A grade, Holly was absolutely incredible. The work that she did to transition the ball down the court, find the circle edge, feed the goalers beautifully, minimal mistakes. Having said that, you probably could have given it to three or four of them
Mm.
pretty easily. It wouldn't have been an easy decision, but so thoroughly deserved.
I know that we were talking, weren't we, Bree, about Sophie Owen and Liv Morris, and I may have mentioned it might have been an easy decision to go with Liv Morris in
Yeah.
regards to it, and I was hoping the umpires made the call or was seeing what we were seeing in the work that the wingers were doing. Hey, Bree.
Oh, absolutely. And that was the biggest thing. Like the way that like in B grade, Sarah, did fantastic, and like obviously talked about Sophie Owens, like she was just amazing. And then obviously in the A grade, it was actually quite funny during that last quarter. Like we had obviously talked during the third, I think it was, that
Mm.
we are going, well, is it an easy out? Is it not? And I in the fourth quarter in my head, I'm going, It could be Holly. It really could be Holly. She beautiful feeding, beautiful releading. Like she was
Yeah.
set and live up.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I mean, you wouldn't want to have to be the umpires making that call. Liv was incredible, unstoppable under the ring, shot a huge volume, 95%, as she always does. And anything she did miss, she mops up. Anything that anyone else misses, she mops up too. She would have been just as deserving. And as I said, Holly was incredible. Her delivery, her transition. But you're right, Sophie Owen was absolutely breathtaking at wing defence as well. She was incredible. She turned over that much ball. And yes, really, I mean, I would have said Tyler Marchbank was brilliant as well at goal fence. Kellie Davidson was as steady as she goes in the middle. Honestly, they all did their job, and that's how you win a grand final.
All right, we've spoken about on court and what's happened on court on Sunday. Who's been best to field off court in the celebration side of things?
This is even harder than the umpires have to make a decision. There's so many. But I reckon yesterday, Mad Monday, Mia Sudamersky, unbelievable. I'm not sure she's going to remember any of it, but there's some video evidence to show back. So I won't be sharing that.
No, that's fair enough. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah,
There'll be people that will hold that close.
Yeah,
absolutely. We won't be seeing that on the Mad Monday pages or anything like that on social media.
I hope not. If you do, someone's going to be in trouble. No, they've had a good time.
What's it been like the last few years? This has been coming for a number of years for Euroa. They've turned. There's been a bit of a turning of a turning circle in a lot of ways. What's been the catalyst for this year to really make the opportunity stick?
Look, I think you're right. It has been building for a few years now. It's really been building for a lot of years, but the last few years they're just getting closer and closer and closer. Perhaps you might have said in the years gone by, we've just maybe had a couple of tiny little gaps, or perhaps didn't have the depth that we had this year. Had a few injuries that might have, challenged that depth a little bit. Whereas I think this year we had a solid, really, we had 12 girls named on Saturday, and every single one of them was solid. We really, not that we turned to the bench too much, but we absolutely could have. We would have every confidence in putting any one of those 12 on the court had we have needed to. And I think that makes a big difference.
The youth development that's coming through Euroa, how exciting is that to see? Obviously, you've got Euroa juniors that are playing through, and they've joined with the amount of players. They've joined the Shep Netball Association to get some more teams. How exciting is that for the community and for the club, especially now? Like, you've got 2 premierships this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Our junior program is amazing here. We have a Euroa Junior Football Netball Club who, yes, now are affiliated with the Shepparton Junior in terms of the football, and the netball is playing over at SNA. There were 7 teams, I believe, that entered in the SNA competition this year, which is incredible given the small town that we are. And you're absolutely right. That filters through. We've got some amazing kids coming up over the next couple of years, and we're so excited about what that's going to look like for our club. It can present some challenges too when you've got more numbers, but we'll always continue to enter those teams in SNA. That's the beauty of having that competition there as well, that there's a spot for everybody who wants to play for Euroa. We really think the next couple of years we've got some probably higher volume coming through that we ever have. And the coaches in those junior programs do an amazing job. And really work together with us, in terms of building that next generation of Golden Valley netballers.
Kellie, just looking at it, you're only the 4th team in A grade to have won the A grade flag since 2015. It's an interesting little nugget I've just found, and I thought the competition's been so. I'm going to say so steady in the past number of years, and the same top 6 consistently. I think I remember it, and it was always the same teams: your Shep Uniteds, your Kais, your Echucas, your Seymours. These have been the powerhouse, and now you guys get to throw your name up there as well. It's fascinating to see the change and how it's all come about. Has it been the youth development? Has Has it been the recruitment? I mean, Liv Morris has been a huge addition on and off the court, I believe, this year for you guys.
Look, I think it's probably a combination of both. I mean, being a small town in a really big competition, we do need to recruit players to be competitive at A grade level. We absolutely do. We're not going to be shy about that or deny that. That's a reality. But I think what we have tended to do well is that we attract people who are good people and people who invest back into our club and back into the competition, and people come and they want to stay. And for us, that's really huge. They end up being multiple year players. And that's so important. Having the right people, having people that want to be there and people who give back to the club and people who love the club as much as the people who've been there forever. So that's really, really important to us. And we really feel like that current A grade group that are there absolutely fit that bill. They are the most incredible girls. They give so much back to the other players, to the junior players, and they give so much back to the club.
Oh, that's fantastic. And that's what you want to see in any sort of football netball club. At the end of the day, they're the lifeblood of the community. The kids are going down supporting. You'll see them around. I did giggle during the game when Eliza came onto the court, and there was a little bit of a chant coming through from the footballers over the side there. But obviously, she's a homegrown crowd favorite, obviously, and that's what you want. You're not going to shy away from the recruitment. You've done the recruitment, and that's fantastic. But as you said, you're recruiting the right people to keep them in and develop the people of the players coming through from Euroa. So I think that's really fantastic that you're owning it as well.
Yeah. And as I said, it's Sarah Turns is another example of someone who came as a netballer 10 years ago. She's shacked up with a local boy and got a young family, and she's here in Euroa to stay. So that's, goodness knows where things can lead. So we're very happy with the crew we've got there. They give so much back to our club and our town, which is the most important thing.
And it looks like you got another one with Bree Sudamersky coming across this year too, and playing with her sister.
That's right. So she's come to join Mia here this year, and the whole Sudamersky family are just the most incredible people. Such good fun, so entertaining. Her parents are there every week, so they travel as well. They come, they watch every week, and they're as thick into the club as anyone. They're incredible people. So it's been a real family affair for them, which is great, and they've been such a great inclusion to the club.
And how good is that, the Sudamerskys and then also the Warnocks as well? Like, you've got the families playing together in finals. It's just fantastic to see.
Exactly. Yeah, it really is. So, as I said, we've got really great people and the right people in the right places, and it's a great feeling, great place to be at the moment. And I think success comes from that. Like, it's that culture and that connection, and everybody being on the same page. It's so important.
Need to quickly touch on Molly Redfern. It was her 100th game in the B grade grand final, and a bit of to do before the game. The notes I got prior to the game from a certain coach turn around that says Molly loves a long bomb and is known for her accuracy and also the need for SPF 50.
Oh, poor Mol.
It was a bit harsh. I thought that was a little bit harsh, but I mean, it was great to see her get on the court and score a couple of goals late in that B grade grand final.
Yeah. Molly's had a fabulous year. So, and look, as brilliant a netballer as she is, she's even better kid off the court. She is an absolute barrel of laughs, and keeps us entertained so innocently and so, just so comedically every week. She's an absolute joy. And yes, I mean, I'm a bit, require a fair bit of SPF 50 myself, so I'm not. I'm often the one checking on her. Have you got your sunscreen on, Mol? Because I've just put it on myself. So, poor Mol. It's a bit of a running joke. But yeah, she came on. She did a beautiful job. Shoots accurately. And as I said, she's just an absolute joy to play with.
No, it's great. It was great to see her celebrate that milestone with the win as well. I think it was fantastic in that respect as well. So, some great additions. It was a great day, I suppose, for you. I want to bring it quickly before we move on to the other games, because I know, I don't want to keep you guys too long, and you probably need to get back to celebrations. You mentioned off the top the Granite Hill connection. Can you let us know a little bit about that? Because we keep seeing it year in, year out. It was with the footballers and the netballers last year, with the netballers again this year. I know Neil Poole's got a fair connection there. It's a fantastic sort of thing that the club's doing, I think, to promote this, both the club but also get the people involved there.
Yeah, absolutely. Neil Poole has absolutely. He's the one who's been instrumental in getting that up off the ground every Friday night. Neil's parents are both at Granite Hill now. So I think as part of him going and visiting them regularly, and being the community-minded fellow that he is, he thought, what can we do to really, I guess, harness some community connection with the people in our aged care facility. We've got a lot of grandparents there and parents and people who've been past players or connected to our club in some way, shape, or form, who are spending their years there at Granite Hill. So yeah, Neil organised every Friday night. So he does a footy and a netball preview. He tries to invite along a special guest, and then he just promotes the game, keeps people connected, involved. I think the league kindly donate a bunch of weekenders every week, so he takes them along. He gets an early printout and takes those along. And then they play the live stream games on a Saturday afternoon. Anything that's live streamed, they play in. They've got this beautiful big screen in a common area at Granite Hill. It's the most gorgeous facility. It's really a beautiful setup. And some of the staff there have been really instrumental in making this happen for people too. And we'll go there again this week and take the Premiership Cups and celebrate with them. It means so much to them. It's really nice to be able to just do that small gesture and give back a little bit to the people who've given our club so much over many years, many of them.
Oh, and it was exciting to see as well. Like, they obviously jumped on the socials and got behind you guys, and even loved the little shout out that Michael gave them as well while the game was going on. And it was just that was just fantastic. And you can see that it means as much to them as it probably does to you guys as well.
Absolutely, it does. Yeah, it's just so nice to be able to keep that connection, keep that community happening for them. A lot of them don't have the ability to get out, to be able to come and go freely. So whatever we can take and give back to them there, it's an honour and a privilege to be able to do it, really.
How did you find grand final day? It felt like it was a beautiful day for in general for sport.
Yeah, it was. It was a fabulous day, and it's always run so smoothly. The league just get it right every time. The weather held out. It wasn't. Sometimes Deakin can throw us a bit of a wobbly weather-wise on grand final day. It's only a couple of years ago. I don't know if you remember the hailstorms and all sorts of. It's usually wild wind, and then I remember another year not so long ago, it was 35 degrees on grand final day. Like, that's just cruel. Making people run around in that. We were pretty lucky really to have a beautiful sunny day, not too hot, so good conditions for playing, but not too cold for the spectators sitting around watching. They had a pretty good day.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I thought we were going to get some rain there at some point, to be perfectly honest. It came over rather cloudy at one point, but I was like, oh, thank goodness it stayed away. So that's pretty good as well. So we might quickly touch on a couple of the other games that happened. B Reserve, it was Seymour versus Rochester, and Seymour got the win there. Bree, it was a pretty good game between those two.
Oh, it was. It was a fantastic game to watch and see the teams coming through. Obviously, Seymour have been thereabouts, and the experience of Rochi that come through, and there was a couple of the younger players coming through, but you can't go past the likes of Tony Bootland, who played in the defence. She was obviously named best on court. Definitely a dominating player in there, and same as Shona Gessler for Seymour. She was fantastic in the goal. So, look, a great game, a 14-goal win to the Lions. But all in all, great contest. Probably didn't feel like it was 14 goals. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't think it was 14 goals either. Sorry, Kellie, I'll come to you in a second. I thought it was quite interesting. Seymour premiers and champions as well in that competition as well. Went through the season undefeated, so congratulations to them. Mia Allen, who we incorrectly called a couple of times, I think, in that one. Apologies. We need those numbers on dresses ASAP, I reckon, is probably the next thing, Bree. But we'll get to that.
I'm pretty sure I had Casey Adamson a few times when it was actually Casey Drummond.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind Casey Adamson running around in a B reserve dress at Seymour. I reckon they'd be pretty happy with that.
For sure.
The opponents, maybe not so much.
So no, it's I thought that there was some really good some good players, but Seymour probably deserved the win and deserved the Premiership, Kel.
Yeah, I think so. They proved themselves as a yardstick all season to go through undefeated and then to really make it through the finals undefeated is a pretty amazing effort too, because you got a pretty big target on your back when you go through the year undefeated. So that's a real credit to Seymour. It was a pretty great game, really, up until half time. So close. Rochi were right in there with it with a sniff, but the class of Seymour really just prevailed after half time, and they made the most of every opportunity and played, Premiership winning netball as you'd expect.
Need to congratulate Sarah Brooks as well, GOTAFE medalist on last Monday night, and also played her 396th game, I am led to believe, on Sunday. So she needs 4 next year to make the 400 mark, and I think by the sounds of everything, she's going to go around again.
Yeah, she's an incredible athlete, and she looks as fit as a fiddle. She looks like she's 21. I'm not even sure how old she is, but she doesn't look a day over 21. She moves around the court as smoothly and calmly as you like. Shoots beautifully. She's got 100 games left in her easy. She'll make 500.
Well, there you go. Looking for what number are you up to, Kel? I've been told you're over 300.
Yeah, somewhere between 300 and 350.
Okay. We look forward to seeing 350 next year then, hopefully.
We'll see.
Oh, hang on. Is this a breaking story that we need to go with?
No, I don't think so. This is just enjoying the week that's been and not thinking too far ahead story.
Fair enough. No, that's okay. I'm sure there's a couple of young and up-and-coming players, young and up-and-coming hills that you want to play with, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. We've got one recovering from an ACL tear, and one that's had a first year in under 15. So yeah, they are. And look, I'm there with them at training, game day. So while I'm fit enough to keep running around with them, I will. Once they say, "Mum, you're too old, get off the court," I might. That might be my cue to get out.
No, not at all.
No, we see Kellie for a few more years. This is exciting. Kellie Hill for a few more years.
That's the headline that this is going to be. Anyway, the 17 and unders, I'll get onto that one. I think was the real, if anything, the real upset of the day. We didn't really talk about it as much, but the Shep Swans getting over the top of the Marupna in that one as well. So with Ruby Diffie named best on court. Bree, you commentated this one with Hannah. Like, this was an interesting game.
Oh, it was an absolutely cracking game. Like, obviously, from there, I think they had met twice or 3 times during the year, and each time it was Marupna's way. And it was even about a 10-goal deficit each time. So, absolute credit to Swans. They came out firing. Hannah and I spoke during the game about how well their ball movement was, how well their placement into the ring was, and just the rotation, especially in that goaling, and the rotation through was just fantastic to see. And I think it was definitely, as you said, definitely an upset. And look, all credit to Marupna. They pegged them back and continued to fight back. They never gave up at all, and came within 1 and 2 and evened it out even a couple of times. But look, Swans were just on song for the day and got the win. It was great to see.
Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on. Jayla Meta as well, I think, was shooting lights out from memory as well. I was sitting there talking to Liam Nash at one point from the Shep News, and he was like, yeah, that goal attack's doing a really good job at the moment. And I'm like, oh, yep, yeah, that's good to see. So,
oh, it was fantastic. Like, seeing it, her and Turner, like, just their movement in the ring. Like, it was just, it was surprising to see that it was 17 and under netball, like, just the experience on them. And I think even Kellie will be able to tell us the fact of that there's quite a number of 17 and unders that are getting games in the seniors and are playing beyond their years.
Yeah, absolutely. I must say I noticed exactly the same thing in that under-17 game, watching, particularly when the game was in the balance, the Swans attack end just seamless together. You can tell that they've played many, many years together. Um, watching that last quarter when the game really was in the balance, it got to, I think, 39 all halfway through the last quarter, and Jayla Media just, absolutely stood up under pressure. When that game was there to be won, she took it on. She shot 7 of the next 9 goals, and the Swans won the game. And that's, all credit to Marupna defenders too. The girl who was playing on her, Amani Isel, had a magnificent game too. She was turning balls over left, right, and centre. But it just kept coming back. And once they got the ball in Jayla's hands, it was, I don't think she missed a goal in those last few clutch 5 or 6 minutes. So yeah, credit to Courtney Simpson, who's a fabulous coach. Their Swans are so lucky to have someone with, former head coach and A-grade coach leading their under-17 side. She did her homework, obviously, on the Marupna girls, and had the Swans really playing beautiful netball when it counted on Sunday, I should say, Sunday.
It's all right. It's confusing everyone. Don't worry about it at all. And in the 15 and unders, it was Echuca defeating Mansfield by 4 goals, the closest margin of the day. And I tell you what, there are a couple of players that we are going to be looking at these players for some time in these two sides that, the Jacqui Hudgson medalist for one in from Mansfield, Eva Clydesdale, and she played on Kate Head, who took out the MVP. Those two are going to be superstars, and I'm excited to see what they do in the next few years.
Yep. Oh, it's great for the competition, isn't it? And like the 15 and unders, obviously it's only a couple years in, and just to see the strength of this competition coming up and two sides. Like, can I just give a shout out to Mansfield? Like, did they bring their whole town?
It felt like it. It seriously felt like it, and I reckon that they had their BNF on Sunday afternoon after it as well. So they were all going back and doing all that over there. So it was, it was fantastic.
Oh, it was great to see. Great to see. And like seeing all these players coming through the 15s as well. Like, Kel, you've probably umpired a few of the 15s games maybe over the year and seen a few of these players.
Look, I haven't this year. I've done a fair bit of umpiring in the past, but I'm a development coach with Euroa for our 15s and 17s. So I watched every single under 15 game this year, obviously. And yes, the two top teams absolutely played off in that competition. And you're right, when you talk about the talent, incredible. Both of them interleague representatives that you mentioned. Eva Clydesdale winning the Jacqui Hudson medal, and so thoroughly deserved. She is an absolute superstar and really a player to watch moving forward. And then, yes, flip side of that, she's lining up against Kate Head, who, also is an absolute superstar in her own right. Dominant, beautiful, tall, athletic goaler. It was a script absolutely written, one for the ages. So, just a shout out to Mansfield. They probably did have their whole town over there. Not dissimilar to Euroa too, a small town in a really big competition against a big, powerful town with lots of numbers. It's such a credit to Mansfield to be able to get their young under-15 team into a grand final. Demographically, they're just up against it. Being that smaller town, although Mansfield's growing into a bigger town now, but amazing. The work that Leonie Berry has done with that young team. They're just a real bunch of go-getters. They just play hard, nuggety netball. And yes, the Mansfield senior grades will reap the benefits of the work that they're putting into their juniors over the next few years. Really, Mansfield, they were up early. They were up at halftime and gave themselves every opportunity, but the class of Echuca was probably just too much, and the depth and the size, really. The Echuca girls are big, tall, strong, athletic girls, and Kate Head was just unstoppable. She is amazing. I think she shot maybe 37 of their 45 goals, which is just an enormous volume up against a league medalist. So she didn't do that against just any old player. So Yeah, that's an amazing achievement. And the Echuca coaches, Kristen Orr and Misty Howard, would be really proud of the season that their girls have put in. Yeah, they know how to win grand finals.
That was one thing that I did notice across that Echuca lineup, the height. There's some really tall girls at 15 and unders, and I'm sitting there going, "This is unbelievable." Like Eva Clydesdale probably was giving away probably a half head on Kate in that regard, and I think Leah Storer was in the goalkeeper position as well, and they worked well in that second quarter. I distinctly remember was saying the second quarter they were definitely getting on top Mansfield, and as you said, they were leading at half time, but they couldn't quite sustain it all the way through, and which was probably disappointing for them. But it was the Echuca height through that through the whole court was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Cool.
they certainly don't get any smaller as the game goes on either, do they?
No, definitely not. No, I'm definitely feeling short.
It's okay, Bree. You've got other ways of getting your goals in, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the only way to do it.
Well, I'm 5'10" and I'm the shortest in my house these days.
Oh, wow.
What do you do?
Cut them off at the knees. Is that what we said?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And I think that has wrapped everything up. Just quickly, we did mention obviously that Euroa won the A and B grades. It blew out at the end in A grade, 50-38. That sort of surprised me. I think as the game went on, I think the pressure just kept going across the board. It surprised me the ease at which Euroa, in particular in A grade, was able to get the margin out and then to maintain it.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. And that was we talked about it during the game that Echuca just didn't seem to flow as they're probably known for. And just credit to Euroa, they flowed from start to finish. They managed to defensively get the turnovers and the stops and just seamlessly drive into attack and cause headaches for Echuca, which obviously is not what Echuca is known for. The experience of like Belinda Lee, Steph Vick, we had Kylie Walker come on into wing defence, and you've got Laura and Ash down in defence, but I think all credit has to go to Euroa. They just played a fantastic team game, put the foot down when they needed to, and in those last few minutes, the game was done and blew out.
It certainly didn't feel comfortable at any stage until about 2 minutes to go was the moment where I actually let myself believe I think they've won this game. But you're right, it was a solid effort from the very first whistle. We got off to an incredible start, unlike the week before against Marupna, which was 8-1 in the first few minutes. It wasn't really going to plan. But I think you're probably right, Bree. Euroa just every single one of them absolutely did the job that they needed to do. And I guess we're able to put some pressure on Echuca, which, scoreboard pressure and the pressure of the game, creates faults and creates problems that, mightn't be there other times when you're in control of the match. So credit to Ellie Warnock. She did her homework. I think we watched, dozens of replays over the course of the last fortnight. She has studied every single game Euroa's played, but that the opposition have played within an inch of, everything that happened down our court. So she was able to give really solid instruction and feedback to every single player. And they just, to the girls' credit, they executed it perfectly on the weekend.
Just quickly, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I did want to check. You were on the bench for that A-grade game, weren't you? You were helping in assistant role?
Assistant coach, yeah,
Assistant
that's been
coach,
my job.
Your
With
role?
Ellie being out on court, rolling subs, that sort of thing's a little bit hard to do when you're on court coach. So that's been my role, yeah.
Did the Kylie Walker insertion from Echuca sort of throw the cat amongst the pigeons in a little way?
Look, it was not a move that they had made, so not one that we'd seen them make. But I'm not surprised they made it. I felt like they probably needed to make a change. Moving Steph into wing attack was probably more of the difficult thing to shut down. Steph Vick is an absolute legend of the game and incredible. The influence she's had since she come back this year, it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So it was another, another element that we then had to work out. How do we then shut her down on the wing? So it was moving magnets and things like that. But again, to our girls' credit, Sophie Owen had an absolute blinder, and her life might have got a little bit more difficult when Steph moved there. But the other players, across the whole mid-court really stepped up. And yes, it probably did take a little while for us to, I guess, regain some composure after that move. But I feel like they did. They just, every single girl was so hyper-focused on what they had to do and just did their job so beautifully. Each one of them did.
Fair enough. I do want to, or just quickly, and I also want to mention a quick one from your game, because obviously you did play in that B grade grand final. Your matchup with Lauren Murray, you two look like you were having an absolute ball out there at times. You were having a bit of a laugh and a chuckle with each other. I mean, as serious as grand final has got, there was still a little bit of a laugh or a bit of a smile coming up.
Lauren is the nicest human being you will ever come across. And really, it is just another game. And we always have a little bit of a chat and talk about what's going on. And, there's no malice. Well, for me, there's certainly no malice in it. I know a few of those Marupna girls well. In fact, I've got family at Marupna. And yeah, she's just she's an absolute joy, such a lovely person. She, has played a cracking game too. I think she's won a league medal at B reserve level and
last year.
Absolutely is not out of place up in B grade. She is a brilliant player. I don't think she missed a goal on the weekend. She is incredible. So no, she's just a nice human, and we have a good time out there. And we play hard, but we shake hands at the end too and have a laugh. And it's all hopefully pretty kind.
Well, that's always good. That's always good. I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was quite funny. I remembered the smiles coming from both of you at one point.
Yeah.
So, no, that's fantastic.
I think the other thing that I'd say about B grade, and I guess I think a lot of our success this year came from our wings. They don't get a lot of credit, and neither of them polled nearly enough votes in the league count for my liking. But our wing attack, Bree Sudamersky, and our wing defence, Brodie West, are just incredible players. And that's actually what wins your grand finals. You've always got big defenders and big goalers that attract your attention, but it's the work that your middies do and that your wings do that help you win games. I've often said, as a defender, we can't turn a ball over unless our wings are doing the work out in front of us to create those turnover opportunities. And Brodie West has just been incredible on the wing, and she was again in the grand final. She just was absolutely dogged and made their mid-quarters work for every single ball, turn ball over. Made it easy for us defenders to pick off any loose opportunities. And Bree Sudamersky's the same in wing attack. She just does an absolute power of work on the centre pass, receives, finds a circle edge, delivers the ball into those goalers in good range, and then they finish it off for her. So we're so lucky, and that really was, the reason your old B grade did well was it's full team effort, but those wings were incredible at doing their job.
Oh, and they really were. Like, that was one thing I noticed. I was sitting down the end of the court during the B grade match and noticed the power of work that those two were putting in. Yeah. And at one point, Bree looked buggered, but didn't give up. She was still going 110%, hitting circle edge, driving. And just, as you said, dogged effort, wing defence, just hustled all day. And look, give a little shout out to Georgia. Obviously, she normally hosts this, and she was playing against Georgia there, so it was obviously going to be a massive battle that day. It was fantastic to see that they, from start to finish, 110%.
Yeah, yep. And the other thing with Bree Sudamersky, doesn't make an error on a feed ever. Like, does not give a ball away. She is as frugal, which is so nice. From a defender's point of view, when you earn a ball, you want them to score off it, and she's not giving away anything cheap down there. So, really, I think a lot of the unsung credit, you might say, should go out to the wings, who really did an impeccable job and have done so all year.
They're the first ones removed when there's not enough players, but they're the first ones that need to get credit at the same time.
Absolutely. And really, as I said, when you've got a good side, have a look at your wings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They'll tell you why you've got a good side.
Fantastic. Hey, I've taken up far too much of your time tonight, ladies. A huge thank you for jumping on, especially Kellie. It's celebration week. I appreciate you jumping on and having a bit of a chat with us. So thank you very much for that.
That's a pleasure, Michael. And good job with the podcast. You're doing a great job promoting netball.
Just trying to do something so people out there know what's going on in the netball world, and hopefully we can be back next season with bigger and better, and hopefully everyone will jump on board and we can do it a bit more regularly next year. So that'll be something different.
Good job.
Bree, thank you for jumping on as well. I appreciate it. I know it was the last minute call up, but thank you. It's been great. You're consummate professional as always. So thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Look, love working with you. You know, we got this, even though Hannah and I did give you a fair bit of stick on Sunday. Keep forgetting. We gave you a fair bit of stick on Sunday. But no, you're doing great work.
I appreciate that. And thank you to everyone that's actually jumped on board this bridge version, I suppose, of the GVL Netball podcast show. It was just something that I thought about trying to start off and just see what we can do. And a huge thanks to Georgia Gattuso as well for jumping on and being a part of this and making sure that we can drive it as much as we possibly can. So from all of us, happy off season. Hope you have a great off season, you two, and relax. And hopefully we'll see you again in 2025. Take care.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, guys.